Buffalo Brother George.
Well, brother John, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, I enjoyed week one.
Week one was good.
We got the win.
Yeah.
It was a little hairy there for the first half, but then the Bills defense figured out what they were doing, that there was a game that day, and they came to play. And gosh darn, Josh Allen took over that game, didn't he?
He did. He
And
did.
now we're getting ready for week two.
Fast because it's a Thursday night game.
And that's today's Wednesday already. So
It is Wednesday.
tomorrow's the game. I hope everybody gets to see it. We're going to give our predictions and all of that, but let's kind of recap the first week before we move ahead here.
Okay.
How did you think the Bills did overall?
Uh, they won. Anytime you win, that's a good thing.
Okay.
I like their running attack.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much what you had said, like a lot of running plays. A lot of them were very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Allen had used his own legs as well.
We counted up the running plays. If you don't count Josh Allen's, he had 9 running plays. And some of those could have been scrambles. It depends how you look at it. But without Josh Allen's legs, the Bills ran 24 running plays.
Yeah.
And we said between 20 and 25. So we were right in the bucket.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Cook got 71 yards, which was good, but it was under 4 yards a carry. So not as good. Ty Johnson got injured. And so maybe we'll see more Ray Davis this week.
Yeah, it sounds like he something happened to him late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe we'll see more Ray Davis. He was out there he had a nice pass reception.
Yes, he did.
And he had a couple of runs. He didn't do too much on the runs, but we'll see what happens.
I think he got about 13 yards rushing.
And then in the passing game, what'd you think of the passing game?
Pedestrian overall.
Okay.
I liked Keon. I liked that they actually we were watching a little bit. Some of the all 22, and there are a couple of times when Allen is looking for Keon Coleman, and I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
He was literally looking for him. Or he was the number one receiver on that play, the X, or at the line of scrimmage, Allen decided that Keon had the favorable matchup, so he went with him. But either way, I think it's good that they're starting to develop some kind of rapport.
Yeah. Actually, Keon Coleman had the most receptions for the Bills and the most yards for the Bills. So the rookie came through. That one big catch was amazing. Yep. Rushed to the sidelines, and he still found a way to go up and get the ball and come down in with his feet in bounds.
Shakir had a couple of nice runs.
Very nice.
And those count. He did pretty well after the catch.
Basically, we've been watching other people say that they took Dalton Kincaid out of the game, but they must have taken they took him out of the game. I mean, the defense took Dalton Kincaid out of the game. But they must have also taken Curtis Samuel out of the game because he didn't have too much to say either.
Nope.
He had like 1 reception, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't too much. It was Josh Allen's legs that I think won this game, but a few good catches. MVS had 1 big catch for first down.
Okay.
And so they're spreading it around. They didn't have there was no go-to guy. We'll see if that develops or if this is really going to be from receptions by committee.
From week one, I couldn't tell you if they're purposefully trying to keep spreading it around or if none of them are good enough to be a go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you that from week one.
Yeah.
But, we got a long season ahead.
Yeah, there wasn't much that happened.
Now, the one bad thing, listen, it is true that the defense was trying to scheme Kincaid out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing that we now know. A defense that isn't particularly good, which the Cardinals defense is not particularly good, can scheme Kincaid right out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, done. He's gone. You can't remember you couldn't scheme Diggs really out of the game for a good part of his time in Buffalo.
Right.
So we don't have. He's not a Diggs, which I guess we knew that, right? He's not a top 5 receiver. That's fine.
Diggs had a good game in Houston and scored 2 touchdowns himself.
Yeah.
On the Bills nickel. On the Bills money. They paid him.
Okay, I'm going to say again, they're not paying him. They're not paying him now, right?
He would have got he wouldn't have got any more money hardly for playing this year in Buffalo. Would have been he would have we've already paid him. He would have been playing in Buffalo for no more money
Okay,
than he already got.
that's not even close to true.
I think.
I mean, well, he was getting about 25 million a year. So
you think he would have got
got
another 25 on top of it? Plus, you think that the 20 he would have got 25 plus the 31 in dead cap? Would have counted, they would have had a $50 million dead
no,
cap on him?
no, George.
Okay.
Because there were multiple years left on his deal. All of that dead cap came from that. Good money that they already paid him.
Come on in a little closer. You're getting off the screen.
Money that they had already paid him, that they were charging against the cap, and they thought they had 3 more years to
All
charge.
right. Well, I'll let you win that round. I'm sure you're correct.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the defense?
He was good. Right now, he's going to make, I think, $33 million this year. Houston is paying him $33 million. That's because they moved money from his last 2 years into this year. If Buffalo were paying him, if he was still in the club, he's going to make another 25 million. So he's making more money than he would have, but he doesn't have a deal next year.
All right. What did you think of the defense?
Not good.
Okay.
Taron Johnson got hurt early, and that is significant to a team whose strength is backfield.
Yeah. Okay.
That is significant. I don't know the ranking of the slot corners in the league, but we keep hearing about him being one of the best. So you can't lose a guy of that stature and not have it. Yeah.
Not have an affection.
Yeah. When we saw a little bit of tape, and when we were watching the first quarter, we thought that Arizona Cardinals were taking advantage maybe of Dorian Williams. But when we saw the tape, we realized that they were trying to take advantage of Dorian Williams, but sometimes it was Ingram and Cam Lewis who clearly messed up and let the offense get bigger plays than they should have. So, but they seemed to correct it second half. This is one of those games where statistically the Bills defense is going pretty good. 4 sacks, right? 4 sacks. And in the second half, they did play better.
And a fumble recovery.
And a strip sack with a fumble recovery. Absolutely. Then if you watch the game, you know that Murray fell down once and Von touched him. So that's one of the sacks. And then Rousseau was chasing Murray. Murray chose to run out of bounds rather than throw the ball away. And that's one of the sacks. So it's interesting that statistically, they think they look better than they actually played. But they won the game, and that counts. And the last drive, they couldn't put the ball in the end zone. But they did move the ball right down the field. They ran out of time. Ran out of downs, I guess, was what happened.
At the end of the game.
At the end of the game.
Last drive. All of a sudden, they could move the ball again. I thought our defense, it looked kind of like why I'm carrying this mug today. Three Stooges. It was like the Three Stooges out there in that first half.
Yeah.
We weren't getting any pressure on him. Kyle Murray is fast, and he was running to his heart's content anywhere he wanted to go on that field. Nobody could stop. They were chasing him. They couldn't stop that guy. And that opened up plays, especially on the passing game. And that hurt the Bills. And it was 3 straight drives. They were moved right down the field.
Yes. In addition to Murray's running, the running back, Connor, he ran. He had a whole game's worth of yards in the first half. He had a really good first half. So,
and then they came out in the second half. They had made adjustments. Rousseau goes crazy. He's got 3 sacks. I can't tell you they were all in the second half. I don't remember. But the one that Von Miller got, I really think that was because he pushed the tackle all the way back into Kyler Murray, and he tripped Kyler Murray and allowed Miller to fall out, touch him, and get the sack. That Miller created that sack. because of his bull rush. So I got to say, I was impressed to see that from Von Miller. We haven't seen that from him in a long time. And so I was pleased about that. Epinesa really was nowhere to be found in the game. And what's his name? Oliver really didn't do much. Daquan Jones got one good play.
The defensive tackles were kind of taking out the game.
Mm-hmm. But overall, I thought the coaches regrouped coming out of the halftime for that defense and got them in a better position to play against the Cardinals, and the Bills hung on there. And then there was the special teams.
Special teams.
What do you think about special teams?
Well, the good news is Tyler Bass made several field goals. Did he get 3?
Well,
or just 2?
Yeah. Anytime he had a kick to score, he did.
Yeah. The bad news is kickoffs are going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
His kicking, like he put one short of the end zone, which they ran back for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And that, so you got the kick, and then you also have coverage. When he was able to put it deep enough in the end zone where they didn't run it out or out of the end zone, that was their best play. Punting was fine.
Mm-hmm.
There was some wind. There was significant wind, and Martin really didn't seem to have it bother him. So I don't know if the wind. I say there was significant wind. I only know before the game started because I was listening to the game show. If that died off, I really don't know.
Yeah. Here's what I thought about special teams. Three Stooges. They when they had a score, they did their job. But come on, that kickoff that went up for a touchdown, neither Kyer Elam or Reggie Gillum were able to make a tackle, and the guy split the two of them as they were grasping for air and went the distance. The closest one to this guy was Bass.
Bass tried.
Yeah, that was a horrible
I
play.
give him credit for trying. I mean, he tried.
Yeah, he tried.
He did try. And he's got a little speed to him. I didn't know Bass had a little speed. He was trying to get
and then after the Bills got their field goal and a good lead, he comes out and kicks it out of bounds and gives them the ball on the 40-yard line. So bad.
Yeah, I forgot about the out of bounds. Yeah.
So let's grade him.
Okay.
Grade
since we were talking about the out of bounds play, that was something I did want to talk. Like,
okay,
we watched a whole series of football this weekend,
mm-hmm.
and it really does look like some teams are just kick the ball out of the back of the end zone. We don't want to deal with this crap.
Give it up.
We'll give it up,
and that's it. Yeah.
But when the Bills were kicking into the wind, they wanted to have that ball drop inside, and he was kicking more shallow, not the big high, but the shallow to try to drop it in there. When they did, the Cardinals receivers, and it wasn't throughout the NFL, when teams did that kind of low kick and they were able to hit it inside the 20 and the 15, that ball's bouncing around and those guys are having difficulty getting to it. Cardinals had a challenge with that. But unfortunately, Bass also was trying to do that when he kicked it out of bounds, when the ball went out of bounds. So that's something a lot of teams, not just Bass, have to work on. Because if you have bad weather and you don't think you can kick it out of that particular end zone at that time, your other option is to drop it in the landing zone.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to drop it in the landing zone where the guy catches it. They want it to bounce so far. And boy, that has just led to kicks all over the damn place.
Yeah.
And the Bills were not the only one to put a ball out the sidelines this weekend.
When we watched this new kickoff,
mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, and we pretty much watched almost every game.
We watched a lot of football. We had fun.
And what I learned is a kicker, when they were kicking off at the 35-yard line, they can kick it out of the back of the end zone. And now that they're kicking off at the 20-yard line, they can no problem kick it into the end zone. Unless, of course, there's some type of weather situation that's going to affect it. And
the weather situation in Buffalo.
Out of all of these games, we saw hardly anybody return the ball, certainly past the 30-yard line, except for the one against Buffalo, and I thought, they wanted to create more excitement with the kickoff, and I don't think they've succeeded.
Oh, I think that. Yeah, Buffalo also had a kick that went past the 30. They also had a good, not a touchdown, of course, but that fella early on in the game. I don't the one they traded for.
Yeah, Codrington.
Codrington. I
Yep.
wanted to say Copenhagen. I knew that wasn't right.
The minute he did that great kickoff return,
They stuck the guy. They were done with that.
Kick that out of the end zone.
So
So I thought, well, what shall we grade?
yeah, that's great.
How about the offense?
Boy, I wish I could give Allen a separate grade, but they a solid B. I'd give him an A. It's just they had the turnover and they didn't put any. They really didn't like. They let a poor defense dictate to them for about a quarter and a half.
I've decided I'm not going to grade with pluses or minus during the season. It's either A, B, C, or D. And I really, really wanted to give the Bills offense an A, but I can't.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, no, I understand.
Because of the fumble that they gave up. And then when they're in the red zone and they've got all these running backs and they got these big guards and tackles, and they're expecting Josh Allen's legs to get them the touchdown. The Bills got to learn how to score
without Allen.
Without
Allen running the ball. Yeah.
Right. And we saw what happened in the very first week. Now he's limping around. He looks like the $6 million man with this thing on his hand, is the glove and the wrap. And oh yeah, I'm okay. He says, we'll find out this week if he's okay. But they've got to figure out, maybe this is going to force them to figure out how to score without Josh Allen.
One rushing touchdown. He says the defensive back's small, so he's just gonna lower his shoulder. And the other one, defensive back's a little bigger, so he's gonna leap over. Now that he's athletic enough to do either of those is fantastic.
And when he was up in the air, he got hit so hard that it flipped him over, and he came landing down on his own hand.
And it's not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is not. One. This is not. We don't win, we go home. No, it's not the playoffs.
This is week one, and now I don't know if there'll be any negative side effects with this play because of the hand issue. But if there is, like, we were looking at it, and there was on the second one, it looked like maybe there was it looks like it might have been a design pass play, but Allen decided to run it. But on the first one, it was a designed run. And that was their plan. They went inside the fight, they were running Allen. That was their plan. So all this talk about they got tall receivers, they're going to high point, and then they just run Allen.
They just did the same thing. Yeah, they got all these big, tall receivers that can get the ball. They're
don't even try.
They're red zone threats. Yeah. They didn't even try. And now, if it's Josh Allen and this is on himself, then it's cabbage head, and he's never going to learn. But if this is what Joe, Brady is calling, then he's going to find himself out of a job because he's going to kill his quarterback.
Well, and that's where, look, on one of them, it really looked like a designed run. He's got a guy pull in, he's running behind him. And it looked like an RPO. It was an RPO. And even though the defensive lineman is in position, Allen decides to keep it. So I really think it was never going to be a run. It was always going run to the running back. It was always going to be a keeper for him. And he kept it, and he was right. He got to the end zone. But that is their play. Like it's goofy to me that they haven't figured out something else in the red zone, but it could also be an indication of just lack of talent in the wide receiver room.
We're going to find out. I thought Hollins looked pretty good. I thought Coleman caught a good pass. I think Shakir's a good receiver.
How many catches did Hollins get?
2, I think.
So how is that looking good?
How
does that look good? Like that's
probably 2 more than Gabe Davis would have caught.
Well, okay, no, yeah, that's a good point. And I imagine that on these running plays, we didn't look at all the tape. He got a touchdown. He might be out there blocking, and I thought that's what you were going to say. You saw him blocking, and that's fine because I think that's why they got was to block.
All right, so we both agree.
Oh, If he got a touchdown, then I forgot that he got it. He was the first touchdown, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, okay, I forgot. I think
And it was good.
he
Over
had
the
a
minute,
pretty
he
good
ran
game.
the post, and Josh Allen put it right into his
That's
hands. And
fantastic.
you know what he did? He caught it.
Yep, kind of like that.
How many times do we see Isaiah McKenzie? You can't catch that ball. Gabe
Yeah.
Davis can't catch that ball.
I understand.
All right.
I understand.
So uh, we agree that the offense was a B. What do you think of the defense?
Oh, geez. That's a great question. The second half, they really looked like they had some heat up. But I still expected better from the get go. I don't know what the problem was in the first quarter and a half, but there was a problem. So let's see.
You know, after that first half performance, at best, I was thinking a D.
I
Giving up
understand.
17 points in the first half, and you can't stop.
And it looks
You
like you
you
can't.
can't stop anything.
There were a couple of times where it looked like only the end zone stopped the Cardinals.
Yeah,
They'd still be playing. Yeah.
and the Murray was running free with nobody 20 yards in front of him. Like, what in the heck was going on? So, I mean, I could have seen an F, but definitely a D. And then the second half, I really thought they played darn well.
Okay.
If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't that for that kickoff return for a touchdown where they and then scored the 2 point 2 point extra points, gave them 8 points and brought the game close 34-28. If it wasn't, and that was if it wasn't for that special teams play, the defense maybe only would have gave up 20 total points, 17 in the first half and 3 in the second half. So I thought the defense really turned it around in the second half. I thought they played like an A in the second half. Be honest with you.
Well, I would say when the ball game was on the line and Cardinals had 2 minutes to go, they just let them march on the field. Why didn't they stop them? 3 downs and out, and Allen's out there in the victory formation right there because they couldn't. That I had a problem with that. Like, especially when the coach decides, coach decision, I'm taking the 3 points. I'm not going to go for it on fourth down. That's fine. But then your defense has to go out there and get a stop. And I thought what they got was a little lucky.
Well, that's why I look at it and I say, I think they really failed in the first half. And I thought they were very successful in the second half. So overall, I got to give them a C, but at least they were getting better instead of starting as an A team and ending up as a D team.
Okay.
That could have been worse. So at least
they would have adjusted.
They made adjustments, and the people that were not playing well played much better. So I'm going to give them a C. How about the special teams?
C.
Okay.
Just a C. I guess it could even be a D, but he got 2 or 3 field goals. I can't add them, so I'm gonna go with a C.
I want to give them a C.
They let the touchdown,
but I can't. I gotta give them a D. They not only gave up the
picking out of
touchdown,
bounds, yeah.
they gave up the 2 point conversion. They kicked it out of bounds and gave it to them the 40-yard line when the game was on the line. The special teams almost let this team down.
You said something there that I never really thought before. Like, I always put 2 point conversions on the defense and not on special teams. I'm not, maybe you're right, but that, like, I don't know if they actually use the same players as they do as when they have a 1 point conversion, or if they change.
All you got to do is rewatch it, and you'll see who's out there.
Yeah, well, I've never paid attention to look. I guess I don't see enough 2 point conversions.
And whether they use it the other defensive players or not, it's a special teams play in my head. So I'm giving the special teams a D.
Fair.
I gave the offense a B, the defense a C, and special teams a D. So B, C, and D. Overall, I would give the team a C.
Okay.
How about you overall?
Yeah.
C.
Yeah.
So we saw pretty well.
I ended up with 2 C's and a B, and I just ended up with. I don't give a half point, so C.
So what do you think you're going to expect to see this week, tomorrow night in Miami? What will the Bills do, and what will Miami do?
Okay. Now I know for a long time, but for a long time of our life, we lived in Rochester, New York.
Mhm.
And then you lived for a long time. You moved a little bit, but you lived a long time in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes, I did.
I got it. So I don't know
The
if you
Cornhuskers won.
have you ever been to the ocean?
Sure.
And did you see the waves, the beautiful waves?
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the Miami Dolphins just rolling like a wave.
Oh, you do. Okay.
I don't think I think the offense is going to struggle, and I think the defense is going to get crushed. I think we got a blowout coming.
You think there's a blowout coming?
I think the only thing that's going to stop Miami at times is going to be the end zone.
Okay.
I think they got real problems.
We see the game differently.
No, that's fantastic. I'm good, and I hope you're right.
I don't see it as a blowout, but because of Josh Allen's injury, I definitely have to question if the offense is going to be able to play up to as good as they did this week against the Cardinals. I think that the Bills defense is going to end up at another C. They're going to have some crappy plays and they're going to have some maybe good plays. I think the Bills D is better than Jacksonville's. But their special teams, we can't seem to get a handle on that. And Josh Allen has an injury. And I think they're going to struggle.
Okay, so you said something there. Yeah, I definitely don't think the Bills D are as good as Jacksonville's.
Okay.
And the Miami defense is just superior to Jackson to the Cardinals. Well, at every stage, front, the defense, the linebackers, and the defensive back.
Tua threw for 388 yards. 80 yards was one play to the guy with the speeding ticket, Tyreek Hill. But you take that one play, if you take that one play out, you don't have to, but if you take that one play out, he still threw over 300 yards. Tyreek Hill and Waddle and the running back Achane are a force.
Yeah.
And I think the Bills are going to have some, they're much better than the Cardinals. The Miami Dolphins are much better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to get Tua running around like Murray did, but he doesn't have to run around. He's got Tyreek Hill to run around. He's got Achane that hits like a brick, you know what house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Bills are going to have some trouble. This could be the first week that I'm not picking them to win.
There have been times when, under McDermott's tenure, where we felt that the scheme that he likes can be vulnerable to the run. And there's freaking Michael, what the heck is their coach's name? McDaniel. He can design run, and he does. And you see the Miami team have an injury to their running back. Next guy comes in, and he still runs well. They have some great design plays, and I think the Bills are going to have a hard time stopping a run, and I think they're going to have a hard time stopping a pass. If you look at Cam Lewis and Ingram, was it Mark Ingram, both played better in the second half, and that's fine. But there's a whole game now of their screw ups that McDaniel's going to be able to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the second half where they played better, even good, he now knows how they react and what they do. And he's got the tools so they're going to be able to run and pass at will. The difference in this game is that the quarterback is probably not going to run. No, he's not a runner. The way Murray is. Murray's a real athlete out there that can do it all. So,
all right. So, what do you expect? Who's going to win this game?
Picking the Dolphins.
You want to pick a score?
I think the Bills can hold them to under 40. So I'm going to say 38 to 17.
Okay. All right. So that would be a clear winner. That'd be like the game they did in Miami a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm thinking 38 to 10, but I'm thinking maybe the Bills will get a late touchdown because Miami will call off the dogs.
All right. So I just finished saying that this could be the first game in a long time that I do not pick the Bills to win.
I heard you.
But you know what?
I don't know what.
I'm picking them to win.
Okay.
I think the Bills' running game is so stout that it's going to keep Miami from getting that time of possession that they would like to have. I think it's going to keep them off the field just enough not to get enough points to beat the Bills. And I think the Bills win 27-24.
You know what I'm afraid of is that Miami says, I can cover all of your receivers without a zone,
Mm-hmm.
leaving them as extra fellas to stop the run. And I think the Bills are going to have trouble. And so that's it. We see it a little differently.
We see it differently.
I hope what I see on Thursday night is what you predict.
And I hope I don't see what you predict, but
Me
we
too.
might.
I hope we don't see that either.
We might. But whatever we see, it's going to be exciting. And this is a signature game, really, for both teams right now. The Dolphins finally beat the Bills, put them behind them, and go on and have a stellar year.
You mean like last year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or
last year they beat the Bills early and they were ahead in the division.
Yeah, for a long time.
For a long time, yeah. They faltered at the end of the season.
The Bills ended up 7-6 before they mounted that 5-game streak, and Miami went into reverse.
One of those sixes was Miami.
Or are the Bills going to start with all the injuries and all the problems that they got 2-0? And have a 10-day reprieve to lick their wounds a little bit and then get ready for game 3.
What? Miami's going to start 2-0?
If Miami could start 2-0,
right,
or the Bills could start 2-0,
yeah, okay,
and then have 10 days off to lick their wounds and get ready for week 3.
If you win, instead of wound licking, you're celebrating.
Well, or the wound licking, I'm talking the injury wound.
Oh.
Injury lick. Josh Allen's going to get his girlfriend to kiss his boo-boo on his hand, and that's going to make it all better.
And, well, I hope she did it before he got on the plane today.
Yeah, well, me too.
That'd be good.
She's probably in California. She's a movie star.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't remember them showing her at the game. She is not, who's much swifter than her.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. That's
Well,
what we see.
thank you for watching.
Enjoy the game.
Have a great day and go Bills.
Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, say anything you want, but enjoy the game.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.